Hi there, this is Mckenna Canty. I'm a senior at UMass Amherst and an intern with the New Music Alliance, a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping the careers of Western New England artists who write original music. You're about to hear my interview with musician and songwriter Nerissa Nields, one half of the folk rock sister duo, the Nields. Hi there, Nerissa. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today.
So I would love if you could tell me about the process of writing your song As Big As I Am, which the radio music hour listeners just heard on the radio music hour. And I was wondering what inspired you to write it as well.
What a good question. And thank you for having me on your show. I don't know how much your listeners know about my band and our history. My sister and I, Katrina, have been working together in a band since 1991, but really before then. I mean, we've been sort of singing together, singing original music since 1987, and it took us a while to figure out, do we really want to do this for a living? And in 1991, we founded our band, the Nields. And at that point, we were a trio, and we expanded very quickly into a five-piece rock band. And then in 2001, we mostly went back to performing as a duo. And so we've made 20 records over the course of almost 30 years. The record that you played, we titled 17 because it was our 17th record, and it came out in 2014. And we made that record as a duo, and the songs on that record were all written within a period of a year. And we had plenty of songs for the record. And Katrina called me up and said, the way we often work, I'm the songwriter, but I'm the main songwriter. She has written some songs, but she gives me ideas all the time. We're very collaborative, and I'll play her what I have, and she'll say, I don't really like this part. Can you do this? So she said, I don't even know if I like this idea, but you know how sometimes you feel like I can't be my biggest, most fabulous self because it'll make other people feel bad.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, I love that idea. I love that idea. Because I think, that's like a major theme in my life, in my work, is this sort of feeling like basically the thing that I'm always struggling with is, how do I balance being a mother, a wife, a friend, an activist, a community member, an advocate, all the things that I was raised to believe would make me a good person. And then there's this other part of, I think all of us, but certainly for me, I am voracious for my own time to create stuff. I'm an artist, and I have stuff inside of me that wants to come out. And I feel like mentally ill if I'm not creating, if I'm not writing, if I'm not, composing songs, and if I'm not sort of actively engaged in a pursuit that quite honestly takes me directly away from all those other relationships that, as I said, I was raised to think make me feel like a good person, like a good citizen. And that, I passionately care about my family members. And if you ask me, what do you love the most in the world, I would, without any hesitation, say my family members, the planet Earth and its well-being. But then I have this, but let me just go away and create my work. And I know that's a little bit different from the way the song came out. The song is more like, if I, the story I was trying to tell was of two friends who grew up together, and bonded in high school. And there's this sort of fear that if the narrator becomes successful, the friend will drop her. So that's really what I was playing with.
You're listening to my interview with Nerissa Nields, one half of the folk rock sister duo, the Nields.
The other thing I would then say is, from a musical point of view, I had just started taking piano. And actually, that's sort of a big thing that informed the record 17. Two of the songs I wrote on the piano. One of them was As Big as I Am. And the other one is Normandy's, which, I still feel like it's the best song I've ever written. And there was a way in which I'd taken piano lessons when I was a very little girl. And I'd quit when I was 13 in order to play the guitar. And barely touched the piano in all those intervening years. But then, in 2013 was when I picked it up, and I found a wonderful, wonderful, compassionate teacher who really let me explore the way I wanted to explore. And it was amazing to me to see what that early playing had left inside of me, like the residue. I mean, I was never good at the piano. I was terrible. I was I never practiced. I definitely didn't think I had any talent for it whatsoever. It was like this hated chore to practice the piano. And yet the fact that I put in all those miserable, hours that I hadn't even said I wanted to, do. I mean, I probably did. I probably at some point said, I want to play the piano, but I didn't want to have to work at it. So there was a real reclaiming of something, ironically, it's sort of like the opposite of the message of that song, spiritually, I guess, which is that I was so happy to just play the piano. I didn't care if I was good. It was like, this is fun. I felt like a kid just playing. All of a sudden, with a sort of a grown-up mind and my knowledge of music from playing the guitar and studying music, I was able to approach the piano from a very different point of view than I had approached it as a kid, where it was all about Joan Wise is a much better pianist than I am, so I should never play. That was sort of where I was at that time. You didn't try to do stuff, at least I didn't, I wanted to be good at what I did. I didn't want to be just some mediocre, terrible piano player. And how sad that deprived me of actually learning more on the piano. So it's I guess I'm both characters a little bit, in a way, it's not at all, from a musical point of view, it's really just about hey, do what you love just for the fun of it.
Yeah. And I think that's when we're all our most creative too. I would love to know a little bit about your new album, November, your 20th album. I love how it was inspired by real life headlines and the current issues we're all facing. And I really liked your cover of America the Beautiful with all of these other really successful musicians. And I was wondering, what is that like creating that during a pandemic?
Oh, well, we actually finished making the record in December 2019. So it was before we even knew there was a pandemic coming. We had no idea. No idea. And we had a whole, schedule for touring in 2020 that was really ambitious. And the record came out right at the end of January. So a month before, we had CD, we had one CD release show at the Iron Horse in Northampton. And then we had a few more shows in February, and our final show was actually March 6th.
Oh man, yeah, right.
Just 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Or something. Maybe it was March 8th. I'm not sure. At any rate, it might have been a year ago today. I'm not sure. Anyway, it was like right around now. So that was, the idea for the video, I mean, we'd had the idea for America the Beautiful, and we'd gotten all those artists to come in and record. But it like after the George Floyd murder, I felt like I wanted to add a verse about reparations. And I thought, oh, you know what we could do is we could make a video and ask all of those amazing musicians to video themselves. And so that piece of it we did, completely remotely.
Unfortunately, due to unexpected technical difficulties, the end of the recording of Nerissa's interview was cut short. We hope you enjoyed listening, and we apologize to Nerissa Nields and our listeners. You just heard an interview with Western New England musician and songwriter Nerissa Nields. This is Mckenna Canty signing off for the New Music Alliance, a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping the careers of Western New England artists who write original music.